Okay, hello everybody. My name is Sam Scott. Today we're going to be going through a little bit of my class, which is a class demonstrating a couple different power movements. Now there are a lot of people who might even be experienced lifters who have never even really tried to do any kind of power movements because they just don't really understand how important it is, or they might just be a little intimidated because they were never taught how. So today I want to go through just a couple different ones that are a little more on the basic side. One of them is going to be a little bit more complex, but it shouldn't be too much trouble once you get the hang of it. So if you have access to a gym, you will need a barbell, you'll need a dumbbell, and then you will also need a box to do some box jumps. If you don't have access to a gym right now, you could use something like a dowel or maybe even like a broom handle. You could use like a backpack, or if you have access to like a kettlebell to do the things we'll be using the dumbbell for. And then you could use like stairs or maybe a steady chair or table or something like that in order to do like the jumping movements. So after we've done the warm-up, which I demonstrated for you guys in class the other day, so now we're going to go right into it. And the first thing that I actually want to show you guys is the Romanian deadlift. Now, the RDL is actually not a power movement at all, but it is such a fundamental movement for lower body power and lower body strength that I wanted to give a quick demonstration of it because I see so many people that just don't do it correctly. So I wanted to just quickly go through that and show you guys how to properly do one and give you a couple different cues to make sure that you're doing it right. So we're going to take our barbell here. And when we do this, so what we want to do is we want to, a lot of people, I will see them, they'll try to like just bend their knees and just go down. And while like maybe that is correct if you are trying to do a traditional deadlift, we are trying to do a Romanian deadlift, and so you want to keep your knees just slightly bent, and then they should not bend again for the rest of the movement. Okay? So then what you want to do is you actually want to hinge your hips so that your butt is going back, and this will also subsequently have your torso moving downward. So when you go down, you just bring it down. You want to keep your shoulders back as much as you can. Try to keep your chest out, and try to keep a little bit of an arch in your back as well. So you just go down, and just like that. And you try to go down as far as you can until you feel that stretch in your hamstrings. So that's the first part of this. That is the first part of this, and now I'm going to set up so that I can show you the first movement, which is going to be the hang clean. Okay, so we're back. So now we are going to be going through the first actual power movement that we're going to be doing, and that is the hang clean. And this is the main reason why I wanted to actually demonstrate how to properly do an RDL first. So we're going to take our barbell. Now, when you do the hang clean, there are a couple of different parts to the lift. So altogether, it's going to look like this. You're going to start off with an RDL, and then you're going to bring it up. Now, I'm just going to be doing this with no weight on it, just so that you guys can kind of see a little bit better the different joint angles and what I'm doing and stuff like that. It's also just a little easier for demonstration. So, when you actually go through it and you put everything together, it's going to be a couple of different parts to the actual movement. So, like I said, when you're going down, you're going to be going down like you would for an RDL. Okay, you're not going to be going down as far as you normally would for an RDL, but that's basically how you get into the starting position. So once you are down there, then instead of just going up slowly like you would to bring yourself back up in the concentric phase of the RDL, it's going to be a little bit more explosive, and then you're actually going to jump and shrug at the top of it. Okay, so to do it in full speed, you're going to go down, you're going to jump and shrug with it. Okay, so then once you have it in the air, like the weight is actually, the bar is going to then be traveling with your momentum as it's going up until you catch it up here at the top. Okay, so you're not actually going to be using your arms, like your biceps or anything like that, to like curl the weight up. That's not what you want to be doing. Okay, so what you want to do actually is you want to use that momentum from the explosiveness of the eccentric part, of the concentric part of the movement. So when you put it all together, doing it slow, go up, you jump and shrug, then your momentum is going to carry it through, and then you catch it at the top. Okay? So once we actually try that out, so you're going to go down, catch it at the top, okay? Go down, catch it at the top. Now, when you have more weight on there, then it's still going to need a little bit more assistance. So you're actually going to need to use your hips to actually like hit the barbell against your hips, and then that will help you to get a little bit more momentum to get it up there. When you're doing it with lighter weight and everything, when you're just starting off, like that's probably not going to be an issue. And for a movement like this, there is a lot of different moving parts that are going on, and it might seem a little bit intimidating. So my best advice for you guys would be to just start off light, but don't go so light that you can do like what I was doing to show you what not to do. You want to be able to like do it, but you don't want it to be so easy that you can just like easily just do it without actually doing it properly, okay? Now at the same time, while you don't want to be too light, you also don't want to be too heavy because you don't want your form to be compromised and you don't want to injure yourself, okay? So next thing that we're going to be doing is we are going to be looking at the dumbbell snatch. Now this will probably be a little bit easier, so if like maybe you're trying to do a hang clean and maybe you're just not sure about it or something like that, this might be a little bit easier for you to do, especially early on. So you're going to want to want a dumbbell that's going to be heavy enough for you to be able to do it, and you actually are having to put in the work, but not so heavy that you're just not going to be able to do it at all. So we got a dumbbell here, and what you're going to do is you're going to have it down on the floor, and now without using your other hand to push on your leg, you don't want to do that. You want to take it from the floor, and you want to bring it up, just like that. And then you put it back down, bring it up, just like that. Now to slow that down a little bit, essentially what you are doing is you're bent over, and once again it's similar to an RDL because you don't want to have your back arched over like this. You want to keep yourself up, you want to keep your back straight, you want to keep your shoulders back a little bit when you're doing this. And then when you're bringing it up, you're using your legs to explode through the concentric part of the movement, and then you are using the momentum from that to carry the weight up to the top, okay? So during the actual sets, I would want people to do maybe like 3 to 4 sets of anywhere from 5 to 10 reps of this. And what you can do once you start getting into a rhythm is you can take the weight and you can just like, instead of dropping it on the ground every time, so like this, drop it down, do it again, drop it down. If you feel comfortable enough, you can try to just like switch the weight, like just like mid-air, like just like you're dropping it and you drop it right into your next hand. It's gonna be hard to see with my phone because it doesn't allow me to show down that far, but I'll try to demonstrate. So just up, up, up. Okay, so just like that. So I will be right back. I'm going to set up for the last one that I'm going to be doing. We're going to be doing box jumps. So the last thing that we are going to be doing is box jumps for today. So when you do box jumps, if you have an actual box at a gym, make sure that you just have something that's going to be high enough to be challenging, but not so high enough that you're either going to injure yourself or you just can't do it at all. You want to make sure as well that when you land on the box, you don't want to land like this. So when you jump up and you clear it, you don't want to like have a lot of noise. You want it to be as silent as possible when you land on top of the box, okay? So what you want is you want to jump and you want to control your landing. So you want it to be as silent as possible when you do it. Now, if you are doing this at home, you want to make sure that you have something that is also going to be sturdy, something that's not going to fall over on you. So if you have to, you might have to use stairs or something, which is not going to exactly be the same thing, but at the same time it is, because you're going to be jumping forward as well as jumping up, but it will still be giving you the, it'll give you the gist of it, and it's still something that you can do without needing really much of any kind of equipment in order to accomplish them. Like how the other two movements that I did, you sort of, in order to actually get adequate resistance, you need to have like a barbell or a dumbbell or something that's like a little bit heavier so that you can actually properly do the movement. But box jumps, you're just controlling, your body weight is the resistance, and you are trying to control it on your way down and when you're landing. Okay, so we're just going to do a couple more of these. And for these, I would recommend probably anywhere from like maybe 3 sets of like 6 to 8 or something, or yeah, probably about 6 to 8 for these. So when you do it, you want to just stand slightly far away from the box, jump, and then step down. Don't jump down because you don't want to potentially injure yourself, like ruin your knees or anything like that. Almost sort of bad. But okay, so that is essentially just a sample of what I'm going to be doing with my workout. I'm going to actually try to put everything together, and so that you can really start getting your heart rate up, and try to throw a couple different things so that you're doing maybe one motion and then going right into something else. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that you found this educational. I apologize for the lack of music. There was people in here working out earlier, and I wanted to be considerate. But anyway, have a good day, guys.